Hey, good morning. It's Monday. Kind of a strange weekend. Trump's got a big gamble going on to get this bill approved before Friday. And everybody's, you look at it and people say, well, maybe it's not that bad. And then I looked at history. And in history, when the Nazis took over, they promised free speech and all these other things that were basically democracy. And 2 years, by the end of 2 years, it was all gone. And it was a totalitarian government with no freedom whatsoever. This is what you can possibly be looking at with Trump and his big, beautiful bill. Trump's going to have some problems. I don't know where they're going to come from. I'm not searching for the answers, I'm not even searching for the problems, really. I just know it's going to happen. If you study history long enough, you understand that certain things are going to happen. If you do certain things, you leave yourself open for other things. By approving this bill and giving the courts the ability to shut down the lower courts, you're basically starting to remove freedom. And the only way you're going to get that back, everybody's looking at the midterms and whatnot, and you're assuming there's going to be midterms. I am not saying there will be. I don't think there will be. I think that's Trump's aim is to remove them. But what I'm saying is that you set yourself up for failure, and the Americans are setting themselves up for the loss of democracy. It's gonna start out gradually, like it is now. I mean, he started faster than he wanted to, but he thought the shock and awe would just stun people. People have no idea what's coming. I don't know how much longer I got left on this planet, but I'm kind of glad I'm not 20 years old right now, because I'd be facing the possibility of a massive civil war, followed by World War III, possibly followed by what one, I don't know how to explain this without sounding like an idiot, but that some of this, what's going on in the Middle East and whatnot, could be a predecessor to what the Bible says is end of days, the return of Jesus Christ. I doubt that, but I do see obliteration in the future. I do see things like the Terminator coming into focus. I see a lot of strange things. Like I said, I don't know. There's a reason for him going for 4th of July, and I'm not sure what it is. But what you have is, you have a lot of people that aren't going to be paying attention to what's going on in the news and everything, because it's a big holiday weekend. It's big celebrations down the shore, party. TV is just something, that plays MTV, if they still have MTV. I don't even know if they still have MTV. But it plays music videos. That's all you see in the bars. You're not going to see CNN saying that, this or that happened. Nobody's going to be paying attention. It's too much of a big holiday weekend, and that's what he's shooting for, and that's what scares me the most. There's a lot more going on than what you're seeing there. And I think I think if he passes that bill on time, which is what he wants to do, that'll be the end of democracy. And I just want to live long enough to either see him, you know, in the ground or in jail, getting dragged out of. But I don't know whether I'm going to be able to live that long. He and the rest of that crew that wrote the 2025 Project 2025, they are entirely anti-democracy. They're all about getting rich and screwing everybody they can. I don't know whether that's going to happen. I don't know anything. For sure, I can only tell you what I see and predict based upon what I see. And what I see isn't looking real good right now, you know. It's just, I don't know. It's a bad situation. And you've got bad politicians involved in it. People that know what they're doing is quite possibly the end of democracy and not caring because they want power. They want money. They want to be Trump. They want to be the next one in line, you know. Because you're going to have because based upon just what's being done now, the next president's going to have twice as much power as Trump does. It's going to be an unbelievable situation. You can talk midterm elections till you're blue in the face, but that's not what I'm worried about. You know, I'm worried about the future. I'm not even sure you're going to have that. You know, I mean, you people sit around and say, oh, we just have to sit around and wait for the 2026 midterms. And I'm saying, no, don't do that. That's not, there's a very good possibility they won't happen. And what will happen in its place if that happens? War. Civil war. Violent protesting. Everything that we don't want to see in this country at this time or any other time. So I don't know. You know, you don't get a lot of people sitting up here that do these kind of videos and stuff like that saying, I don't know. Well, I'm not capable of predicting the future. I don't believe these indicators can mean this or these indicators. If you start believing the indicators, the possibilities are endless, including the end of days possibility, because there are depending on your personal beliefs and whatnot, there are indicators to tell you that this could be happening. So, you know, I don't know what to think. I wanted the end of my life to be kind of relaxing and casual. Maybe I'd make some money doing wood carvings or something like that. Maybe I'd write a book or something, or maybe I'd write a paper and become famous. That's not going to happen. The end of my life is just going to be a horror show. And it's going to spread. It's not just going to be in the United States. I mean, it's going everywhere. You've got a president down here that the last public appearance, he was throwing a Nazi salute, you know. And South America's big on Nazis. It's where Argentina's where most of them, in Brazil, where a lot of them settled after the war. So, you know, they were hidden there. So we're not, you know, the United States isn't the only place that's got to worry about things right now. The whole world has to worry about it. It's I don't know how to say it. I don't know what to say. You know, it's very, very strange. All right, let's talk about a couple other things right now. People are saying that some countries, I forget what the country was, Thailand or Turkey or someplace, had pot was legal, and they had big pharmacies running it and everything like that. Now they're making it illegal, and everybody's trying to figure out why. Because the criminals were losing too much money. Okay, because without pot as a beginner's drug, a very cheap high, if you will, there's nothing to drive people to try the other stuff, you know. And they don't want the other drugs legal either. There's been a push to legalize cocaine and stuff like that. That's just stupid. You know, the banning alcohol in the 20s created crime, unbelievable crime, because people didn't want to be told they couldn't have something that they've been having for years. Consumption is somewhat down on the cheap booze, but it's still there, and it's still a problem. I don't know why people don't look at it that way. I mean, my thing is that one of the reasons that I'm not a big fan of Alcoholics Anonymous is Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, demands total separation. You can't drink. Not moderation, not anything. And you shouldn't hang out. And in a lot of cases it costs you friends because you have to stay out of certain atmospheres and whatnot. And my position is that you have to pinpoint the cause, and the person has to want to stop drinking. Now, if they go to AA, it's a crutch to stop drinking. They never discover what drove them to drinking in the first place, in most cases. I went into therapy, not necessarily for alcoholism, but that came up during the course of the therapy, and I know why I drank and my problems were, is that I had a problem with my father being an alcoholic, a pretty violent alcoholic, and subconsciously I was trying so hard not to be him that I became him, only not the violent part. But when people see alcoholics lose their temper about other things other than their relationships, they get nervous and they leave. So that's, and you can't commit to anything. Alcoholics can't commit to anything other than alcohol. All right, so I think it's just the criminal empire wants their drugs back. So we'll find out. We'll look at that. Now, a question appeared on CNN. They were talking about why North American Indians aren't called the first people. Well, probably because they didn't know they were Americans. They were there before America existed. So to say that the first Americans, maybe not. Maybe they're just the first settlers, the first humans to be in America. And America wasn't America for a long time. So do I consider them the first people? I'd say I call them the First Nations, because they were there, and they still are. Millions of them. And Trump's going after their land, and the problem there is that they have that thing in common with us. It's called greed. So you have the big oil companies come in and can buy. If you say you can buy licenses, the big oil companies will come in and spend money. And then what happens down the road is you find out you have nothing. After you buy your Cadillacs and everything, you have nothing. So that's just another ploy. All right, listen, I'm going to keep my eye on CNN and whatnot to find out what's going on. Oh, did you see that thing out in Idaho where this guy set up the fireman to be killed? They said they found the guy dead. I don't know who shot him or if he shot himself. That's something that's like a made-for-TV movie. They showed that on TV a lot. Several stories involving that where they set up the fireman to be shot. I think Blue Bloods did something like that one time too. Well, anyhow, okay, it's Monday. It's a holiday down here. Started out crystal clear, seriously, crystal clear, and now the big clouds are moving in. But that's all right. it's cooling it down a little bit. It was oppressively hot this morning. When Lucy doesn't want to walk around too much, it's oppressively hot. So anyhow, do me a favor, hit the subscribe, the like, whatever you choose. Please, I need to know you're out there. I need to get some, subscribers. Builds up my cred, with the YouTube, and I'm gonna need all the help I can get pretty soon. All right, so do me a favor, do that, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Listen, there's a possibility that I might be live tomorrow, and if I am, you look at the around this time, between 10:30 and 11, and if you click on YouTube and go to live videos, or you click on me and go to live, we'll see what happens. I have to find a way to get this out to more people, but we'll see what happens. All right, have a good day.